Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is just enjoying this beautiful day. Um, we are here to get started and talk about Discovery Education Studio. And I see we have a couple of friends in here today, Miss Roberta, Mr. Kevin. I'm so happy that you guys are joining us. My name is Ijama Johnson, and I am one of the instructional technology specialists. Here on the call with us is Dr. Casey Hutchinson, and she is also an instructional technology specialist for the district. And the last part of our dynamic trio is Dr. Jennifer Williams, and she'll be joining us soon. I'm just so happy to have this opportunity to present to you guys some information that I hope you guys enjoy. We're talking about Discovery Education Studio. And before we get all the way started, which you guys have already done, a few housekeeping. We're going to keep our microphones muted and our cameras closed. We are actually recording this session for future training purposes. So we appreciate you guys, but we do want you guys to get engaged in the chat feature. There's a little speech bubble at the bottom. If you guys would, any questions that you have as we are going through this training, feel free to put those in the chat. And we have moderators that will address your questions and so that we can best serve you guys, okay? If you guys are not on Twitter, we would love for you to get connected. Great platform to share your story. And so we shared our Twitter handles right there at the top, as well as because today's session is all about Discovery Education, I encourage you guys to tag Discovery in all of the awesome things that you're doing. A lot of times it's cool to see and follow these programs and these companies that we use. Discovery Education, let me tell you guys, is an awesome network of professional learning, growth, instructional practices. And today you guys are going to get a chance to dive into those. So I have a question. How are you guys familiar with Discovery Education Studio? Yes or no? Go ahead and put that in the chat for us. Oh, yes, Ms. Roberta, you're going to be excited. Great. So awesome. I like to see no's because that means that you guys are going to learn something today. So I'm excited about that, okay? Look a little jumbled over here. So the first thing is Dr. Hutchinson is going to drop in the chat I'm going to show it to you guys. Discovery is offering some awesome virtual sessions. And so what we did, we tried to compile them in one place for you guys. If you are interested in learning more about Kevin, it's new to you, perfect. If you're interested in learning more, once we go through this training, I think you are going to be super excited. And so we wanted to put the training opportunities that Discovery was offering in one place for you guys. So this session kind of is going to get you excited about the possibilities. But if you are new to Discovery, I definitely suggest you getting to that session that is, you're very welcome, welcome. This session that's getting started right here on the 30th at 11. So these are links. And when you click this, it's going to take you to Discovery Education's website for you to RSVP to these sessions. Okay. So didn't want to overwhelm you guys, but I did want to make sure that you guys knew that those were open. And make sure you RSVP for them so you can get that information. I'm sure space is going to fill up because Discovery, everybody's using that. Okay. So that's that tool. Okay. So we are going to dive right into Discovery Education. In order to access Discovery, you should use your Clever dashboard. Are you guys using Clever to sign on to the various applications that we have? Good job. So Clever is our district single sign-on, and right here is Discovery. It is it's with the globe, and we're gonna click there and get started. Perfect, Kevin. Awesome. So when you get into Discovery, you are going to see these tiles. And Discovery did some rebranding has recently done some rebranding. I guess it's not that recent anymore. But if you've been teaching for a while, you may have used United Streaming. Think United Streaming on steroids. There is so much good stuff in Discovery Education now that it just makes my heart smile. It makes me so happy. I'm actually Casey, Dr. Hutchinson actually is a Discovery Education ambassador, and she's done some awesome work with them. And has done some training, and she comes and she teaches us. And every time she does, I get more and more excited about all the new things that they have to offer. With their rebranding, they kind of went with this mantra right up here: discover, teach, and grow. And so they kind of packaged, it's very streamlined and clean, their website, and they packaged everything under those categories. So these first tabs are your discover tabs, these blue ones. As it relates to teaching, they're saying you're going to use these purple tabs to teach. And when you're talking about growth, we're in the green tabs. Okay. Today, we're talking about Discovery Studio, but I would be remiss if I did not tell you guys about this gem right here. Okay. Instructional strategies. I'm going to click here. This is for free. You guys didn't sign up for this, but it's free and it's some good stuff. So SOS are the spotlights on instructional strategies. And this is a warehouse for awesome research-based instructional strategies for integration for into Discovery Ed. And so I like to use the example in my classroom. I am a middle school educator by heart. That is my first love. And in my classroom, at the end of, for summarizing my lesson, we would always use the 3-2-1 strategy to summarize. 3 things you learned today, 2 things that you may still have a question on, and 1 thing that just blew your mind today. We did that at the end of every lesson. Until one day I had, and if you are a middle schooler with all kids, you know they are brutally honest sometimes, right? And one of my babies says, Miss Johnson, we always use 3-2-1 to summarize. Can we do something else? And guys, that was kind of like a reflective moment for me because, yeah, I've developed that as one of my classroom norms, but my babies were over using 3-2-1. Look at this right here. So the spotlight on instructional strategies gives you options of different ways to summarize or different ways to do whatever it is you're trying to accomplish within your lesson. So what they've done is they've packaged these different strategies. The awesome thing is they give you a video of a teacher using the strategy. I like to say sometimes they look like they have some child actors because none of my babies were ever as well behaved as some of those friends. But at any rate, they show you how to use the strategy within a lesson. They give you resources. They give you, like, for instance, this 3 truths and a lie. Guys, this is a really cool, a cool one to use. So up here, 1 minute and 54 seconds. That's a commercial, guys. So I can watch this video about how to use the instructional strategy. It gives me the summary of it, and then if there are any additional lesson materials, they would be here. And so right here is, yes, isn't that great? I love it. So this PDF breaks down what the actual strategy is. Guys, if you are being asked to include Rebus and research-based instructional strategies into your lesson planning, hello, here we go. They're right here. They tell you, it gives you the big idea of the strategy, what you would need, the materials, and then it tells you line for line what you're supposed to do with it. Guys, let me tell you, we get so bent on doing the same thing all the time. And sometimes, I'll be honest, pulling out that toolbox each year, it feels good when you're able to refresh and get something new to add to your tool belt. Okay. So I know you didn't come here for that, but I had to show you guys those spotlights on instructional strategies, those SOSs. Okay. What do y'all think about those? Yes, I agree. It can be our enemy sometimes. It gets boring after a while. So it's good to kind of mix it up. So I know that wasn't what you signed up for, but I had to show you guys that. So that was over here. That was found under the green instructional strategies tab. Okay, right here. So let's dive in. Let's dig into what we came here for. We are talking about Discovery Education Studio. Oh, yes, the 3 truths and a lie is great. My babies loved it. They love trying to trick each other. Okay, so from Discovery Education Studio, so just a little bit about what it is. It's a creation and collaboration space where students and teachers can build multimedia boards from any device. So they can use their laptops, they can use iPads, Chromebooks. There's no limit to what they can create. There are a lot of things that you can do within Studio. So we're gonna kind of familiarize ourselves with what we have here. Okay. So all I did was click into Studio and it's gonna look like this. Like you may not have any boards here. You haven't created anything yet, but don't you worry, we're about to do that. So to get started, there is a blue Let's Create button right here in the top left-hand corner. When you click that button, it is going to open up two options. You can start from scratch, or you can create from a template. Today, we're going to look at both options because I want to make sure you understand what you have available to you in both. We will start off with the start from scratch option. When you click start from scratch, you have a blank slate. There is nothing here. Empty, nothing. If you've used Discovery in the past, this Studio is very similar to Board Builder, okay? But they streamlined and they cleaned it up and they made it a lot more user-friendly, which I love. So when I've done this with my students, I say Studio. When you hear the word Studio, what do you think of? Some of the kids say, "Ooh, like a music studio where I can rap." I said, "Yeah, what else? What else?" And then someone else says, "Well, what about an art studio where you can paint?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Those are good things." And so I'm trying to get them to understand that studios are a place for creation. That's really what we end up getting to the bottom line. And so Studio can be used in different ways. I can create a board that I'm going to use to teach from, where I can disseminate to my students. So for in the times that we're in currently, I know you guys are trying to figure out, how am I going to provide instruction to my kids from home? Like, it is a very difficult thing to kind of wrap our minds around, especially when it wasn't something that we necessarily prepared for. And so with Discovery Studio, you can create a board that you can push out to your kids that is for instructional content. Okay. On the flip side, you can create a board, or your students can create a board that shows their demonstration of mastery of a concept. Okay. So let's go ahead and dig into this. When you get into your board, it's going to be empty. Okay. There's nothing here. But right here at the bottom, there is a blue plus sign. This is going to be your best friend. This is how you add content. Okay. When I click the blue plus sign, I get all these options for the different things that I can add. The very first option says search Discovery Education. If you click this option, you are going to get to search right from Discovery. So we are learning about the seasons. So I'm going to choose seasons. I'm just going to search the word seasons. When I do that, I have all this, look at all this, all these videos that I will have access to. Now, the search from within your studio boards is a little bit different than your search from the main page, like from our homepage, and I'll show you that. So when I type seasons and I'm under all, I'm seeing everything. What if I only want access to my videos? I can filter across the top. I can filter by grade band. So if I want to make sure that my topics are age appropriate, I can filter that way. Okay. Or I can remove the filter by clicking on it. Okay. Now, my littles absolutely, when I say littles, my daughters, they absolutely love Sid the Science Kid. And there is a video clip about season. So I'm going to click it, and then it adds a check mark. And I am going to come right here where it says add selected. When I click that, it brings that piece of content into my board. Okay. So I hit the plus sign, I searched my content, and I added it from there. The other side, or another option that is a possibility, is adding from your quick list. In Discovery Education, your quick list is very similar to a favorites bar. Things that you found during your search, not necessarily while you were in the creation studio, but just while you were in the main portion of Discovery Education, you can add things to your quick list. And so from my quick list, these are all the things that I have saved over time. So it appears over here on the right. And see, I have that video right here. So I can decide that that's what I want to show. This is a cute video on two-dimensional shapes as well. So I can just decide I want to add a video from my quick list. Okay. So those are those two options. Now, more than likely, you're not going to start off with a video. You're probably going to start off with a title. So I just hit the headline and I am going to type the word seasons. When you type and then you click your box and you see how I highlighted my text, now I have options to bold my text. I want to change the type of text. I want to center it. I want it to be a different color. And so now do you guys see how I was able to change my title? Now, yeah, and that just, who wants stuff to look cute and pretty? So once I do that, I'm going to close my quick list so I can see this panel off to the side. Now, right now, I have my season's title is below my picture. And we're defaulted to want to just try to drag this up. You see how that's not moving? It's not doing anything. Not going to do anything. What you need to do is click a box. And then if you notice off to the right, you have these options to move up or move down. I want to move it up. When I move it up, it goes to where I want it to go. Okay, so don't get frustrated and try to slide and move stuff around. You have to select it so that it is highlighted in blue, and then you have the options to move it up or to move it down. Okay, so that is adding text. That's super easy. If this were a board that I was using for instruction, it wouldn't only have the text here, right? Or this headline. I would want to give my students some information. So I would say text. Anytime you add something, it's going to jump down to the bottom. So maybe I want to give them the standard that we're working on, the EQ that goes along with this content. And when I'm in text, I have a little bit more different options than when I'm in the headings box. So this deals with the size, so I can change the headings here. Okay. Of course, you still have access to your font type. So I can change that size, and that's just like a word processor. Okay. So I can change all of those things. Something that's really neat within here that you can do is you can add or insert links. So if you have a link that you want your kids to have access to, you can insert that URL. If I have a link, let me grab this link, copy this link for you guys. And I want to put the URL, paste the URL, and then I can make this say something. I can make it say, hey, click here. And look at this option. This is important. Open in a new tab. The reason why this is important is, have you ever clicked on a link and then it takes up your space and then you're like, wait, I need to go back to where I was originally? It's always best if you can to, yes, and it confuses our kids a lot. So if you can, there's ever an option to open in a new tab, I would always just select it. So then now, instead of the long link, it says click here. And so then they know that they could click that link to get whatever, and it'll open them up in a new tab instead of overriding the tab that they're in. Okay. So now we've talked about searching for content. We've talked about adding things from our quick list. You also have the ability to upload from your device. If you have a video of yourself that you've recorded, if you have images that maybe there are pictures that you've used within lessons that you would much rather use, you can upload straight from your device, and then that'll open up your things that way. Okay, you can open up from your device. We talked about adding a headline in our text. Okay. You guys are on track. Now, the next thing that I want to show you guys that people always ask, they're like, well, how do I make it look pretty? Right? We always want to know that, right? So if you look over here to the right, you have options for your background. So if we are learning, this is a little boring. I might want I might want to add right here where it says blank slate. Instead of it being blank slate, I click that. Look at this. Now I have, yes, so now I have options. I can change my color scheme. Ooh, look at that, guys. So I like this when my kids are creating because there are not too many options. When my kids create, yes, all of them are pretty, but when my kids create a PowerPoint or a Google slide, sometimes they get so wrapped up in the infinite number of possibilities that they spend so much time on the pretty and then we have no content. Has that ever happened to any of you guys? Yes, me too. Exactly. So using the thing that I love about Studio is you can look, this is it. These are your options. No other ones. This is all you got, but they're still awesome options. Okay. If you want to get fancy, really, really fancy and add a background, guess what? They have background options as well. Okay. But this is it. It's still more. It's still a few, but it's not so much so that they just get all the way lost in that. Okay. So that is, yep, yep. Yes, you guys are awesome. Yes, you guys are so right. So if I click the one I want, the background, if you notice, it takes it up here. It's like that top part. So if I click one, I can make, I tell my kids, you want to make sure when you're adding background that it does not impede on the design. The design does not impede on us being able to read your content because sometimes they like put black words on top of black background. Hey guys, we can't read that. Okay. So if I'm over something, like if you create something or drop something in and you no longer want it, all you have to do is make sure that that box is highlighted in blue. And then you're going to go over here to the right hand side and click that delete button. Then it's going to ask you, are you sure you need this? And then you can say yes. On the flip side, if you have created something that you want to duplicate, you have it all highlighted here. I come over to the right hand side and I can say copy. And now it's copied the contents of that previous box. One of the big questions we get as it relates to designing a board, people want to move things. Think of each of these as a row. So I can't really manipulate within. Like I can't put something in between. I can add another row of content. For example, I can come here and add a block, and it's going to bring it down to the bottom. And when I add a block, I can move it up, but I can't, these are considered rows. Okay. So when you add a block, that's the next thing I wanted to show you guys. So we've added content. We've looked at all of these. The next one says blocks. You have options to add one block, 2, 3, and so on. When you add a block, it's going to dump it down. Remember, anytime you add something, it brings it down to the bottom of your screen. You notice these plus signs? When I click the plus sign, here is where I have the option to add additional content again. So now I can add another video. I can add something else that I found, or I can upload my media. That block can also be text. So I can type text here. Okay? And then it opens up if you have like a large amount of font text that you would like to type here. Okay. I could have my students compare two different videos or two different pieces of content. It doesn't only have to be videos. I've had people decide that they were going to put two poems here and have the kids read both poems and then talk about the similarities and differences. No, it doesn't have to just be a board full of videos. Think about, I know sometimes when I was preparing my lessons, I would pull up my PowerPoint that I was going to have. I would have my tabs open with the videos that I was going to show, and people would laugh at me because I would have like 25 tabs open at the top, trying to keep things handy that I planned on using for my lesson. Hey guys, you don't have to do that. You can create a board that you're going to teach from. So it could literally be everything you needed for that lesson in one board. So your opening could be here, the standard could be here, what you were going to address. You find that you feel like you're scrolling too much, then you can add another page. So I could go to add and I can say new page, give your page a title. maybe this one is going to be about winter. I say create, and now I have a new page. That way everything is not on this first page. So that gives me another page there. Let's make sure we've covered everything. So remember, when I'm ready to add content, I'm clicking the blue button. So we talked about adding content from Discovery, adding things from your device, the text options with your headline. The other thing that I think is awesome is this is a new one. This one that says question/answer. It says when you dump that, when I went to my plus sign and added question/answer, it says assignees will see a question prompt here. So I want to ask my students a question. It could be, what is your favorite season? If we're talking about season, it could be me directing them to their journal that we keep for class. So I could say, go ahead, guys, and enter in your writing journal. I need you to respond to this prompt. So adding that is an awesome new feature that they've just recently added, and I really love it. So right now we've gone over all of these ways to add content. Okay, we've gone over the way to search it, the way to add it from your favorites or your quick list, and all of this. So we've covered how to add all the content. The next thing that we need to talk about is, how do I share this information? So now it's all mine. I have this amazing board, and next week I want my babies at home to see some content that I created. So with that, if you look up here at the top of the screen, you have some options. This is you. This would say your information, right? But that next button is important. The play button shows you what your board will look like without clouding your area with the edit tools. So I can see everything exactly how it's going to appear to my students. I like to do this because I want to see what they will see. So this is really important. That I did that just by clicking the play button. Once you click the play button, it now turns into a magic wand. So when I am ready to go back to edit mode, I go back, and that's where the magic is. Okay, so if you notice, now I have access to make edits to my board. Okay. The way that you would share this content with your students, this button right here on the far right side is our share option. So the first thing you would do once your board is ready and it's amazing with all its great content, you want to publish your board. Okay. Now you have some options. If you solely want your students to view your board for instructional purposes, like they don't have to do anything to the board, then you don't want to allow them to copy it. You just want them to have access to the link. Okay. So right here, I would say use the contents of this board to answer questions in Canvas. If you've missed our Canvas trainings, we will be posting links about those. But Canvas is a great space to post these boards that you create. Okay. So I'm going to publish my board with the link. Okay, so now it's telling you, publish a snapshot of this board to others. I want to publish this board so that others can see it. I'm going to copy this link, and then I'm going to put it in my Canvas page and tell my students to click the link to get access to their Discovery Education board. So that is an option in how you could share it with your students. The other option under publish is this publish to classroom. If you publish to a classroom, you can manually add your kids into Discovery Education. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I told you guys, I'm a former middle school teacher. I had about 120-ish kids. At this point of the school year, I probably would not be manually adding kids. Okay. I would just share the link with them in Canvas. Okay. But I did want to show you guys that that is an option. Okay. To publish it to your Discovery Education classroom. Like I said, I would just be clicking this option right here to publish the board as a link. Okay. Now, there are some other options over here in our share. we can invite collaborators. Guys, this might be one of the best things that they added to this studio collaborations. You can invite others to collaborate in your board. So maybe you as the teacher don't want to invite the kids, but what if they are working on an assignment together? They can work together in collaborations. So the first option says allow edit, make changes, see activity history and content. So I would want them to be able to do that. Okay. Allow chat. Now I'll be honest, until I gave my students the parameters and the expectations for chat, I would turn that off. Middle schoolers and chatting, they're gonna be talking about stuff I do not want them to talk about. So I would disable that feature. The next one says make moderator, manage users, and moderate chat and share. Well, since I have the chat turned off, I don't need that feature. Okay, so this is a collaboration link. This link is different than your publish link. Your publish link is just for consumption. They're just using that information as an instructional tool. If they were to work on something together, then you would want them to collaborate. Okay. So you could share that link and then they could collaborate. The other way, so I would copy this link and maybe send that to them. The other option that you could use as it relates to collaboration is the one that says live link. No, not that one. Sorry, guys. The one that says publish, and then I can allow, see where it says allow copying, can make their own copies of your board. I am notorious for creating a template of what I want. Sometimes some of the kids love the autonomy of being able to do whatever they want and add things wherever, but some kids need the model. They want to have the boxes. They want to have everything the way it needs to be. So if you send them the published board and allow them to copy, that allows them to make their own copy of the board and then make changes. So that is a very, very awesome dynamic tool, a great way to scaffold, a great way to provide differentiation for our students that may need it. Okay. So we talked about collaborating. We talked about, so let me show you how that collaborating would look. I got sidetracked. So I would say I can add, and then I would come right here and it's getting the link. I would copy this link and then I would send the link via email. Okay. And then the people that I would had the collaboration link, they would pop up here and we would see them working in the document together. Okay. I believe that's all that would be under here. Live link would just be, it says allow others to view your active board and see live changes. So if this was something, publish means I'm done. The publish link is your final product. If this board was something that was going to continue to change, I would share the live link. That way, any changes I made, they would have access to automatically. Does that make sense, guys? The difference between those? Okay, good. So it just depends on what you want it to do. The last thing we didn't talk about under here is assign slash distribute. You could assign a board as an assignment. Okay. So if I were to click assign slash contribute, I can assign this board. The very first option says make collaborative. Recipients will access the same board. Do you want everyone in this? I wouldn't put a whole class in the same board, just being honest. So that one is off. Allow editing. Do I want them to make changes? No, I don't want them to make changes. But if they do have questions, I do want them to be able to ask questions. So I would have that. It tells you the due date. When is this board due? If I click the edit option, then I have more parameters to set a due date besides those dates that are pre-selected. Leave the scoring. It says leave blank score if you just have a pass or fail, but if you have a point value, you can click your point value here. This is the title and then any instructions. Now, assigning this to the classroom, remember, is going to open up your DE classroom. Okay, so just be mindful of that. If you do not have a classroom in DE set up, then I would not use this option. I would use the the option that says share, and I would send them the published link. Okay. And I would just put that link in an assignment in Canvas. That would be how I would check that off. Okay. So don't get flustered like, oh no, I don't have a classroom setting here. I can't use it. Oh no, that is not true. Use that publish link and send your students that link via Canvas. That is going to be your best friend because all of your students are already populated in there. So those are all of our options under our share. Okay. Now I'm going to double back a little bit because remember, we went into Studio and we looked under Let's Create, but we did start from scratch. I want to show you the different options you have when you click on the Create from a Template. When you choose Create from Template, you are going to automatically be dumped into the featured options, and they give you the spotlight on strategies. Here they go again. See, guys? They give you some boards that have those things in them, but then there are different types of boards, okay? And so let's just say we had a writing prompt, or this one is a collage. This group is graphic organizers. Let's look at this one, guys. This is one of my favorites, the newspaper article. When I click the template for newspaper article, it's gonna give the title frame, the headline already. It already has the boxes that students would need. See that? It's already there. So they don't have to worry about adding the box from the blue tab because it already has the boxes filled in here. Now it may not have the content that I want, but then I would give, I like this one too. I would give them the information that I wanted. Okay. So then I could use this as my template. I could come over here to share, and then I can push out the one that says publish, the publish board, and I could say allow copying, can make their own copies of my board. This would enable you to push out a template of exactly what you wanted your students to include in their board. So I use the example that these kids that we are currently teaching have literally been using PowerPoint their whole lives. Like, think about it. They've been, if they don't know how to do anything else, I promise you, they can more than likely make a PowerPoint/Google slide presentation. So much so that they are probably over it. If you tell your students to make a PowerPoint, they might not say anything out loud, but they're probably like, here we go again. They are over PowerPoint, okay? So the great thing is a lot of times you have to Jedi mind trick them. Even if the same components of a PowerPoint would be in this Discovery Studio, how many times have they put in their own video content that they've researched? That typically doesn't happen in a PowerPoint. You got to find ways to kind of be innovative and change and switch things up. I told my kids that we were never doing a PowerPoint in our class. They were like, why? I said, because you've literally been doing them your whole life. I had to find new ways to trick them into the learning. Sounds bad, but it's pretty much what we had to do. Okay, guys? So this option is really, really neat because I could plug in the things that I wanted them. This one's set for comments, but if I wanted things, I could plug those things, make it a template, and then push it out to my students. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, that's good stuff. The other one that I wanted to show you guys was, where did I find it? So let's go back to our templates. Graphic organizers. Not popping up. Where was it? I'm clicking through, guys. I don't know where I saw it. Let's search it. Okay, so I love this one. Compare and contrast. So I was 7th grade teacher and I told my students, okay, guys, we are going to compare and contrast two cells. Immediately, they began to draw what? What did they draw on their papers, guys? say, guys, we're comparing circles. Yes, ma'am. They drew circles because in their minds, the only way to compare and contrast was with a Venn diagram. Now, we as grown-ups know that that's not true. But when you inundate the kids, we inundate the kids with Venn diagrams as compare and contrast. So much so, they think that that's the only way to do a comparison. I love this board because it gives them instructions about comparing two different things. Oh yeah, draw a line down the middle, that infamous T chart. Those were the two. But how many times on an EOG assessment would they be able to draw a Venn diagram? Not happening. They're looking for them to never, right, Dr. Williams? They are looking for our students to be able to take those Venn diagrams and actually bring exactly asking waiting for them to actually put that knowledge into written form. And so the one thing I like about this board, guys, is it enables them to do that. They're comparing, but it looks different. It's changing the game as far as what they may be accustomed to. So I love that. I love that this board kind of comes with some directions that I could tailor to make my own and kind of make it fit what I needed it to fit. And of course, those same parameters, if you wanted to change it up, you can also have access to do that. Same deal. I would share, I would say publish, and I would allow them to create their own copy. So once they click this, they would have access to their own copy. I would put that in an assignment in Canvas so that they could create their own board and send it to me as an as a link, instead of them just drawing some circles on their paper. Even though a lot of kids may have to start with the circles in order to get to this point. Okay. Absolutely love the options of templates. So y'all see, remember, I'm going to go a little bit slower. So I was from home, I clicked Discovery Studio, and then I had access to my boards. Okay. So once you start, you're going to see like I have a whole lot going on with my boards right here. When you have boards, if you're searching for one, you could just search the name of the board that you created. And then over here on the side, you have ones that you've published, assigned, or archived. Okay. And when you are wanting to change the name of it, you just click up here at the top. I didn't tell you guys that. Untitled. Now I can give it a name and save it. So now see how now it changes the name of that. Okay. Today, guys, was just aimed at just trying to get you excited to try something new. If nothing else, spend this time and learn something different that you can incorporate into your classroom instruction. And the great thing about it is you can use this time to learn something and push it out and try it and work out the kinks. No harm, no foul. If it doesn't work out for you, it's okay. You can try something different. Okay. I just hope that you guys enjoyed our session today. I hope that you learned one new thing that you will be able to include into your instruction. Again, we are posting post that link of, yeah, I'm gonna try something different. That makes my heart smile. I want you guys to try something new. Try something new. And so what's gonna happen is you're gonna get the link to the Discovery Education courses that are being offered directly from Discovery. If you got excited about this, I promise you, you're going to learn so much more. And make sure you avail yourself to those trainings, okay? Make sure you RSVP. Don't just show up and they don't know you're coming. RSVP so they know that you're coming. I'm super excited that you guys were able to attend. Be on the lookout for the recordings of this session and the other sessions that we've had this week during our Power Hour. We truly appreciate you guys. Oh, I really wish I knew. Hey, Ms. Valentine, it is not too late. It is okay that you didn't know at the beginning of the year, because guess what? It's March 27th and you know now. So I'm super excited. I'm glad you guys learned something new today. Get into DE. Is our DE password the same as Canvas? When you log in through Clever, it will authenticate. It's going to ask you for your credentials and you just you try to. It should, did it ask you to log in with Microsoft credentials? Because that's what it should have done. Yes, through your Office 365. That's another way. Okay. If at all, if you have any problems or any issues, feel free to email any one of us. I'm Johnson.ijama, Ijeoma. I'm the only Ijama Johnson in the whole entire district, so it will definitely go to me. Okay. So if you have questions about that, I would love to help you out with that. You guys have been so, so, so awesome. Thank you for staying engaged. And I will see you guys. Can students access through email? They can access Discovery through through Clever as well. Hope I'm answering that question correctly. You guys have been awesome. Feel free to, like I said, email me any of your questions, and I will most definitely get back with you. Okay. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.